scoring in double digits.
You look at Dawson Garcia, who a lot of things, obviously a lot goes through Minnesota and Garcia. And Yannick Konen Niederhauser missed the first meeting early February, so he's a big addition here for Penn State this afternoon. Penn State coming in, you see, with a 14-13 overall record. They turn it over on the first possession. One of the best offenses in the Big Ten coming to Minneapolis here today.
So Niederhauser does get out on Dawson Garcia to start defensively. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a transition look, because we specifically asked Mike Rose, would we ever see that matchup with Yannick Konen Niederhauser defending Dawson Garcia, and it was an emphatic no.
And I think you're right. It was a transition situation. Yeah. Because you see Zach Hicks right back on Garcia right now. And Minnesota does not intentionally try to slow the game down and take fewer possessions. They like to get the ball side to side and let the defense break down.
So a turnover here for Penn State, a missed shot here for Minnesota on the first possessions here for both of these teams. The 61st meeting between Minnesota and Penn State. And Parker Fox takes it away, turns it over. Odukale misses the dunk, but draws the foul against Dillion.
I'll tell you what, Freddie Dillion, that was a nice challenge at the rim. I thought he was going to let it go, but Odukale, nice hands by Parker Fox. They get this party going here. Odukale at the rim, thinking he's by himself. Nice challenge by Dillion. Got to make him earn it at the line.
Femi Odukale, that first meeting with Penn State, actually fouled out with 12.5 minutes left to play. Picked up the personal foul and a technical foul. It was a double whammy for him. You got to watch the last few minutes, the last 12 and some change minutes from the bench.
Well, you're looking at a young man that's got 130-plus career games at the college level. So Femi Odukale seen pretty much every scenario that you're going to find.
Dunn taking a peek inside. And a foul call on the take here by Dunn. Look at Ben Johnson. I thought his answer to you was interesting. You said, when did things change? And he said, we never really kind of lost faith in ourselves. Even when we began the conference season 0-6, I thought that was a really interesting answer.
I thought it is as well, Lisa, and I think it points to the veteran nature of this Minnesota team, the oldest team in the Big Ten in terms of games played at the college level. And so you're looking at a veteran crew, and then Ben and his staff, Lisa, was sharing with us that they broke down the schedule. Look how hard the schedule was to start the Big Ten Conference. And look where you were. Look how close you were in some of those games. And now things are starting to come together, and they're really playing their best basketball at the best time of year.
Yeah, they started the conference season 0-6, like we mentioned. Really interesting. They won the 3 straight wins. Of course, the big buzzer beater against Michigan. A win against Iowa. Oregon with the court storm. Dropped a few, kind of in and out of the win-loss category, and now just looking for 3 straight after sweeping the Los Angeles teams. Taking care of USC and UCLA.
Well, I like Dillion picking up full court, making Minnesota eat up some valuable time in this possession.
Odukale driving, they work it around the perimeter. Mitchell gives it into the corner. Here's Garcia, who pulls from distance with 2 seconds on the shot clock. A 3-pointer falls.
Well, Zach Hicks is in great position defensively, but he's giving up a couple inches. Garcia doesn't need that much space.
Dunn looking to penetrate. Odukale, too much body, and he's already getting in foul trouble. I mentioned that he fouled out of that game with 12.5 to play in the first meeting.
Well, take a look at Garcia. Zach Hicks is right there. He knew the 3 was coming up, got his hand up. Garcia at 6'11". No problem getting that shot off.
Baldwin Jr. taking it out here for Penn State. Gets into the hands of Zach Hicks, a 3-point shooter for the Nittany Lions.
Look how far Parker Fox has Niederhauser off the box.
From Niederhauser with numbers coming over and turning it over. You saw the numbers forcing that turnover here for Penn State.
Right. Yannick Konen Niederhauser gets baseline crab dribbles into his spot. Shuffled those 19s a little bit. I'm guessing.
The size 19.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Could be generous. Mitchell hits the distance shot, so a couple of three-pointers here from Minnesota open up.
Mike Mitchell coming off a 14-point outing against UCLA, starting to find the range from three once again.
Penn State, I mentioned one of the better offenses in the conference. 3 turnovers, that's their first field goal attempt. As the three-point shooters we talked about, Zach Hicks takes it inside.
Zach Hicks doing a good job. And a lot of times they try to run him off that three and they think he's nullified, but not that time. Kept his dribble and got downhill. This is a young man I really like, Asamoah. Isaac Asamoah, I think he's going to be a star, Lisa.
His numbers won't wow you here this year as one of the freshmen here in this league. And man, what, some talented freshmen in the conference as a block on the take. But you can definitely see the potential. You can see what he can be. And Minnesota gives it right back on a transition opportunity.
He's talking about Asamoah.
Now, Mike Rhodes, in his second season, had talked to us here, sitting in the bottom of the conference. He's talking about being spoiler, right? I mean, obviously they want to climb the Big Ten ranks and try to be one of the top 15 to make the Big Ten tournament, but also doesn't want to put pressure on his team. So it's the spoiler attitude, including today, that they're going to try to do, and that's an emphatic finish by Conan Niederhauser.
Yeah, and they get a couple more of those. You'll see this Penn State offense start to click. And I love that approach by Mike Rhodes and his staff, because you want to be playing downhill. You don't want to be on your heels. And I think that's an approach that will give them confidence.
Corner shot. Mike Mitchell Jr. has a couple.
Good job defensively by Minnesota, giving Dillion multiple bodies to look at when he's trying to penetrate.
Ace Baldwin Jr. pump fake, leaves it short, but a foul call there on the shot.
Those Gophers coming out strong. Usually a second-half team, but starting to find a rhythm in the first half. Mike Mitchell Jr. Hold that follow-through, young fella. I see you.
When you're the official vehicles of winter, you can embrace everything the cold has to offer. Leave fresh tracks with the safe and secure Jeep Grand Cherokee. Melt limitations with our most capable Jeep Wrangler ever. Or battle the elements and win in the Jeep Gladiator. Hurry into the Jeep President's Day sales event before these incredible offers slip away.
During the Jeep President's Day sales event, get 10% below MSRP for an average of $5,700 under MSRP on these 2024 Jeep Wrangler models. See your local Jeep brand dealer today.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal. No.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by the DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket, only at DQ. Happy tastes great. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Some photos from the sweep in Los Angeles, taking care of USC and then taking care of UCLA. Both in comeback fashions. It hasn't happened much, only twice here this season. Part of our Big Stat sponsored by DirecTV. Only Michigan and Minnesota have swept the LA teams here this year.
So that shows you how impressive that Minnesota trip was for the Gophers. And not an easy place to get victories. Michigan, the other Big Ten team that has done so, but kind of gives you an indication of how well these Gophers are playing as of late.
Yeah, and they did it in comeback fashion. You know, the Gophers trailed by 17 to UCLA, trailed by 14 to USC. Only led by in 3 minutes and 9 seconds the entire trip.
You talking about snatching victory away from other teams. A great example of it.
Look, all that matters is if you're ahead at the end of the game, right? When the clock hits double zeros.
That's it. Now they're going to try to heat Isaac Asamoah up a little bit.
See how the freshman takes that heat. Nick Kern Jr. applying the pressure. The top team defensively in terms of turning teams over, average about eight steals per game for Penn State. Mitchell taking a peek. He's got 7 seconds on the shot clock to work with. Dawson Garcia, he had 3 blue jerseys hawking him and draws the foul.
Good job of Minnesota getting the ball in the post. They're getting heated up defensively. Nick Kern doing a good job of heating up the ball, but watch this pass into the post for Garcia. Dillion, no match inside. They have to foul.
Dawson Garcia now to the free throw line for the first time. Comes into today 1,456 points. That's the 11th most in Minnesota history. And all the Gopher fans were talking this week. Imagine if he played his entire career here in Minneapolis. Took detours, of course, to Marquette in North Carolina, as we know. But approaching the 2,000 point scoring mark for his entire career when you factor in all 3 schools.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful career. The more we talk to Ben Johnson, the more impressive Dawson Garcia becomes about the young man that he's become and how much he loves being here in Minneapolis and representing the Gophers.
Zach Hicks gets turned away but finds the big man who's found some success here today, Conan Niederheiser, with another bucket.
Yeah, Mitchell trying to front on the post, and Minnesota may have to alter their approach because Niederhauser has gotten it a couple times. Drop step finish.
He's got that finger roll finish, the emphatic dunk. Minnesota in this possession has scored in 5 of its last 6 possessions. And they will run the shot clock down. Patterson, the lob play, can't finish to Garcia.
It's one of the things I'm always interested in. Dawson Garcia, sometimes, at least when I see him with the ability to dunk, he doesn't do it.
Sloppy start here for Penn State. Another turnover. Garcia in the corner. Asima, corner shot, corner look. Leaves it short, gets his own miss. Patterson back out to Mitchell Jr. Fancy dribbling. Asima, he leaves it short. How many opportunities the Gophers going to get? And they pay it off.
Great pursuit of the rock. Penn State seems a step slow to me, Lisa. I've had them a number of times this season, and they're just not getting the loose balls. That's kind of their calling card right now. Minnesota beating them to those 50-50 balls.
They've been a hard team to predict, right, this year. I mean, a lot of injuries, sure, that definitely plays a major part. You know, they've been involved in a lot of close games, but you would anticipate coming into today that they would have some momentum after manhandling Nebraska. A couple of misses on that, and they come up empty-handed.
Boy, Penn State had a couple good looks, point-blank range. As you look at Minnesota trying to swing the ball defensively, on the offensive end, look for a breakdown on the defensive end to take advantage of. But Penn State, pretty good this possession.
Patterson pulls it back off the left side and pursuing the offensive rebound. They're going to get another second chance. In and out. I mean, the last 2 possessions, they've gotten second and third and fourth opportunities sometimes.
You see Mike Rose starting to get a little hot under the collar with that lack of effort cleaning up the defensive glass.
Frank Mitchell commits his first. Mitchell's minutes will be something to watch here today going up against that man, going to Niederhauser. We could see a rotation of guys. Parker Fox defending him as well.
Now it's interesting. Both teams go a little bit smaller. So Dawson Garcia goes to the bench. Niederhauser goes to the bench for Penn State.
Yeah, Parker Fox is like at the 5 position here with this lineup. And a timeout here called for Penn State. With Minnesota with a 7-point edge. How surprised are you that Penn State has come out a little bit lackluster after coming off that Nebraska win?
Yeah, it's tough, Lisa. I think coming out on the road, and I think they just haven't figured themselves out on the road yet. you got to give yourself an opportunity. When they had those 3 early turnovers, that's an indication that they may not be as locked in as they need to be.
Penn State or Minnesota has taken advantage of some of those turnovers. 7 points off turnovers to build this 7-point advantage. You know, it is interesting when both of these teams face each other. Pace of play, right, is always going to be, you know, front and center. Minnesota slows it down. Penn State wants to play more up tempo. That was the case in the first meeting where Minnesota was able to yuck it up a little bit and come home from Happy Valley with the win.
Yeah, and so, you know, we'll see if Penn State will respond here.
The timeout was called, and they immediately go Dunn's way. You said out of the gates you've been impressed by him.
Yeah, DeMarco Dunn's got one of the prettiest looking jump shots in the Big Ten. And I think it just, his confidence needed to catch up with his game. And I think now we're starting to see that.
One of the reasons why now he started 5 straight games, coming off a 17-point performance in that Nebraska win. The second most points that he scored here this year.
Ace Baldwin there on the catch on Mike Mitchell Jr.
Minnesota coughs it up. Rigsby getting some time. Brennan Rigsby had a fantastic game in the first meeting against Penn State. And a jump ball. It'll be Minnesota basketball.
Ooh, Mike Rose all over Nick Kern Jr. right now. It's imploring him to pass the ball. You're trying to go 1-on-2. Ends up with a turnover. Rigsby doing a good job of putting his head and hands right on the basketball.
And you've watched this too. Kern Jr. has applied pressure to the freshman here in this first half. So far, Osama has handled it. Now Osama gets it taken away by one of the better defenders, Ace Baldwin Jr. Can't finish it off on the left side. And that's the other thing for Penn State. They're missing some point-blank opportunities. Mitchell Jr. not there from three-point land.
Well, good of Baldwin to get back into the play. An excellent job by Parker Fox making Baldwin miss that layup.
And Dunn is heating up here for Penn State. He had a 2-pointer and now the 3-pointer from the corner.
And Dunn felt like he got hit on that release. Kind of shaking his head to Edwin Young, the official. We have to keep an eye on that. Penn State was nice response to a slow start.
Maybe that timeout helped to regroup and reset here for the Nittany Lions. Again, single digits here on the shot clock. You'll hear us talk about that many times here with Minnesota. With just a shade below 5 seconds, we'll take a timeout. It'll be Minnesota taking it out from the sideline with about 4 seconds to work with when we come back.
I could have sworn it was open.
Rookie move.
I was a rookie once.
Caitlin Clark.
Aren't you Rookie of the Year?
That was last year. Ancient history. The stories that I could tell you. Here, pull up a chair.
Okay, I meant this rookie driver made that rookie move.
Whoa.
Dude.
You need someone with more experience. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, State Farm's here to help, no matter how long you've been in the game.
Game? Oh, man.
Rookie move.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Something amazing is happening here. Productivity is growing exponentially. That's because CDW configuration specialists are deploying fleets of Microsoft Surface devices. Built-in security, simplified management, and flexibility help streamline busy work, which means everyone can get more done. Make amazing happen. Microsoft and CDW.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking
about our honeymoon. What about Africa? Safari. Hot air balloon ride. Swim with elephants. Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch?
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
No, I don't want to look.
Erica, used car shopping doesn't have to be scary.
I don't want to overpay.
Sure, nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident, but that's nothing to fear.
Show me, Carfax.
Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay. You can look now.
I am looking.
Why are you still covering your eyes?
I don't know.
No fear, just Fox. Say, show me at Carfax.com. Yeah, you're still covering your eyes.
No, I'm not.
Joshua Walker, world's best backwards basketball shooter.
6 grams of protein, loaded with fiber, and they come in over 20 tasty flavors. Blue Diamond almonds might be the world's best snack. I should know.
Can your snack do all that?
This March, the race to a tournament title is on in Indianapolis.
Here we go!
Catch live coverage of the TIAA Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament, March 13th and 14th, only on the Big Ten Network.
Here at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, we're getting more nutrients out of every crop to sustainably feed growing populations everywhere. And then there's this. Every dollar spent on agricultural research returns up to $40 to the Minnesota economy. Now that's really doing more with less. I'm Brian Boer, and I'm helping make the world healthier here, there, and everywhere.
All right, some shifting of the standings in the top spots. Michigan State now all alone after beating Michigan last night. And Stephen Bardo, you and I were watching the final of the Wisconsin-Oregon game. Oregon taking care of the Badgers in overtime, and it drops Wisconsin to just below the top 4 spot.
So we're going to see some movement from now until Indianapolis in the second week of March. Great job by Oregon coming from double digits behind to beat the Badgers.
I mean, when I say we were watching, we were just score watching.
Yes.
on the banner here. We're, of course, watching our own game that's happening in front of us. I don't want to concern too many people. Dawson Garcia spinning baseline. What a move.
And what?
I was going to say that's why some people think that he can make a pro and have a long career as being a pro.
I tell you what, that was a great call. There was only 4 seconds on the shot clock. They threw it to the opposite side of the floor, let him go one-on-one. Love that call.
And for Minnesota, that's a quick shot in that possession, turning over Penn State. Here's Mitchell Jr. on the run and lays it in for 2. And suddenly Minnesota, after a 3-minute drought, has some momentum coming out of that timeout.
You know, Lisa, I don't know. It's almost like, is Minnesota Penn State today? Getting all the steals and turning those into buckets?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, it's like,
giving
wow.
Penn State a taste of their own medicine.
That's right.
A team that averages 8 steals per game. Here's DeMarco Dunn. At one point had 5 straight points here for Penn State in the first half. You know, working the baseline, can't get the reverse. He's got 7 of the 15 points here for Penn State. Garcia short on the 3-point attempt.
Kache ends a good job hustling to try to get into the vision of Dawson Garcia on that release.
Baldwin Jr. jab fake. Is Baldwin Jr., the leading scorer on this Penn State team, can also do that, find his teammates, but it's in and out for Kerr Jr.
Yeah, Nick Kern has struggled with his consistency from long range. He's had games where against the Washington Huskies, they played off of him and really got into his head.
Yeah, well, 25% shooter from 3-point territory. You see teams play off of him and trying to dare him to take that distance shot. Not there for Baldwin Jr. Well, Penn State just 1 of 3 from 3-point territory here today.
You talked about Minnesota had their scoring drought. Now Penn State about 2 minutes and 20 seconds where they have not scored. Can Minnesota gap them with this? Well,
say that again. Say that again. Patterson trains it. Lakai Patterson, double figures, 4 straight games coming into today. And there you go, a 7-0 scoring run and 2 and some change.
I really like the way Minnesota's connected defensively. Penn State is not getting any clean looks right now. They're helping. Parker Fox is shutting down on the backside. Excellent effort here in the first half by the Gophers defensively.
Which says something for a team that averages almost 80 points per game, this Penn State offense. They try to turn you over. Second chance points is huge. But if they're not getting that, then their offense stalls here this year.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see is Penn State start to press the issue a little bit. Like you saw Baldwin come down and shoot a quick 3. I think Penn State needs to take a few more chances on the offensive end.
Well, Baldwin Jr. trying to work his way, finds Kern Jr. Pump fake, there's an easy 2 for Enza.
Sweet dime by Nick Kern Jr. at the last second. That's the best example of patience that we've seen from the Nittany Lions here in the first half.
Enza got 17 minutes and a start in that first meeting against Minnesota because Conan Niederhauser didn't play in the game for injury. There's a quick hands of Baldwin Jr., and it'll be Penn State basketball. That'll be our timeout as well. A 24-17 advantage here for the home team against Penn State.
Since we started Fetch, America's Rewards app, we've helped people earn over $1 billion in Fetch points. Our next mission, to help you earn another $1 billion in Fetch points as fast as we can. You want a free gift card?
Yeah.
What's the catch? There is no catch. You literally get free gift cards for scanning receipts, playing games, or doing your shopping.
Thanks so much. All right, man.
Download the Fetch app today. Get $10 back in points when you spend $30 on select General Mills products.
My mother told me.
Thousand square miles of the U.S. are unreachable by any cell phone tower. Places where memories were left unshared. Until now. T-Mobile partnered with Starlink to create the only space-based network that automatically connects to the phone you already have. And we're inviting anyone on any wireless carrier to experience it for free. T-Mobile Starlink. If you can see the sky, you're connected.
Some of the fans looking extra good here in the barn to watch Minnesota take on Penn State for the second and final time of the regular season. Wednesday, don't miss a great hoops triple header. First, it's Michigan State coming off that win against Michigan, battling Maryland in a top 20 showdown. Then the Nittany Lions take on Indiana, followed by Ohio State against USC. Coverage begins with a tip-off show at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington with you with this matinee showdown. We talk about one of the best offenses here in the conference here with this Penn State offense. And if this pace keeps up, this would set a single season program record in terms of points per game averages. But Stephen Bardo, only 17 points here so far.
Yeah, so Minnesota doing a fantastic job of really not giving Penn State a lot of easy looks. They've done a fairly good job of taking care of the basketball against the pressure.
Out of that timeout, Conan Niederhauser with another puck hit. You know, I was looking at the stats in the break. What points off turnovers, just 4 of those for Penn State, as well as fast break points, just 3 that they've generated, and that's where they get a lot of their offense.
Yeah, this Minnesota team is the top 50 defensive efficiency team in the country. They're pretty good, and they're second in the Big Ten in blocks, and so that's why I'm really curious that Penn State is attacking the bucket. And they're not worried about the shot blocking capabilities of Gophers. They're trying to get to the rim.
Yeah, the Gophers, one of the best shot blockers, second in the conference, tried to put it up. Patterson couldn't get it.
Now, can Penn State build on this? That was a very good defensive possession.
Conan Niederhauser with the miss, another opportunity. Hicks keeps it alive, and a three-pointer on the way for Penn State. Not there. Into the hands here of the freshman. Javin Carter, a freshman for Penn State, playing his first minutes here in the first half. Dawson Garcia in and out, looking for his three-point shot. Hasn't found it yet.
Watch Zach Hicks on this possession for Penn State. Boy, Niederhauser is wearing out the Gophers up front.
He's a big body, right? 7 feet, 250, and a huge miss when he missed the first meeting between these two teams because of an ankle injury that he suffered in practice. Had to miss a couple of games because of it.
Well, they're just a different team. It's Penn State, they'll take a lot of threes typically, but they haven't needed the three ball yet as a primary weapon as long as Niederhauser is this kind of presence.
Yeah, they're 1 for 5 from 3 here so far. DeLeon misses 1 for 6. How about another one? There's Hicks, their three-point shooter. He can't even connect.
Boy, Minnesota fortunate. Those are really good looks for Penn State.
1 for 6 from 3 for the game. Minnesota looking to add to its advantage.
Well, Niederhauser with a hard hedge.
Pump fake, drops it off. Frank Mitchell in a crowd of Penn State players tries to put it up. Nittany Lions get it.
I like the good no call there. Mitchell trying to get contact, but none to be had.
So you were saying you disagree with the thousands here in the barn that were booing after that possession?
Well, you know, we're here to call the game, Lisa.
That's right, that's right.
We don't have a dog in this race.
Jeffrey Anderson, Tim Comer, and Edwin Young, your officials here today. And a timeout called here from Minnesota as Penn State now making a little bit of a push.
It's been a series of runs here in terms of Minnesota gets out, Penn State responds. Minnesota gaps them a little bit. Penn State makes a play to get back into this game.
The implications for this game, we opened up with it. Both of these teams trying to be one of the top 15 teams here to make the Big Ten tournament. Only 15 of the 18 do exactly that. Coming into today, Minnesota, after winning the last 2 games in Los Angeles, comes in tied for 12th in the conference. It's Northwestern, Washington, and Penn State there on your graphic that are the bottom 3 on the outside coming into today looking in.
So you're playing to get to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Conference tournament. If you're Northwestern, Washington, Penn State, Washington has the tiebreaker over Northwestern and Iowa. So you're going to see a lot of movement among these teams as we come down the stretch. It's going to be fascinating to see who plays themselves into the Big Ten tournament.
You told me that you're the tiebreaker guru, right? So we can go to, you know, when you've got 3 teams of the tiebreaker, you got to figure out that's you, right?
No.
Oh, that's not you?
No, that's our great research team.
That's smarter
Big
people.
Ten Network, yes.
A lot smarter people than you or I.
Yes, I'm just reading what they give us.
Penn State was 6 layups and a dunk, by the way, that has led to this charge and has cut the lead here to 3. Dawson Garcia going off the bounce against Hicks and draws the foul against Zach Hicks. His first personal, and that's the matchup Mike Rhodes had said that he would like to see try to defend and slow down Dawson Garcia. Good luck,
exactly.
Right? The rest of the conference is trying to figure out how to do that.
Exactly right, unless you're throwing multiple bodies at him and trying to make someone else beat you. Dawson Garcia, too tall, too talented to keep in check.
Great conversation with Ben Johnson about Dawson Garcia, and what you were saying earlier in this half that your appreciation for this guy has grown, and mine did too, with Coach Johnson talking about how, you know, I said, how did he not go pro like everybody else? You know, right. you make that jump, and he had talked about that when he decides to go pro, he wants to make sure that he will stay and maintain that pro status instead of being kind of a one-and-doner at the pro leagues, whether it's the NBA or overseas. So he felt his best way to do that was to stay in college and develop his game. It'll stay here, and again, the barn doesn't agree.
Well, see, Edwin Young could call a foul, but he doesn't call a foul and gives the possession back to Penn State. So either you get a foul call or you get the ball back. You can't necessarily see it from that angle, but Niederhauser's arm was yanked. So I like what Edwin Young did there.
Dillion looking for it into the paint. Is it short? I mean, they're getting some good looks, some open looks. That one from, you know, 2-point territory, but they've got some good looks from 3-point territory as well.
Minnesota needs to get a good look. 0 of 8 in the last 8 field goal attempts.
Patterson dives on the court. Shot clock won't reset. 7 seconds. Here's Mitchell with some time to work with. Steps it back. He leaves it short.
I really appreciate the way the Nittany Lions have come together defensively.
Oh, wow. Cohen Niederhauser. Another emphatic slam.
Oh, man, the big fella is engaged early and often. And Penn State is going to wear the front line out of Minnesota unless the Gophers make a change.
Feeding Frank Mitchell. Layup's not there. The tip isn't there for Garcia.
Boy, Dillion was trying to score on this and got it done.
Yeah, the and one for Dillion. But that so far is not the highlight of the first half, Stephen Bardo. This is.
Well, Niederhauser, look out below, ladies and gentlemen. Big fella on the move, catching his stride. Get out of the way.
If you could pick the perfect topping for a freshly prepped Jersey Mike's Sub Bowl, what would it be? On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Tender, juicy, all-white meat chicken breast. Jinx. I knew you were going to say that. The new roasted chicken Sub Bowl. Only at Jersey Mike's.
All right, trainees. Let's say Glenn is a customer.
I'm a customer in this scenario.
What do we do?
Protect what's important to him.
And how do we do this?
We help with car, home,
both.
RV coverage.
Great. Apply coverages. Because you never know what life is going to surprise you with at 90 miles per hour.
Did Coach say 90?
Push him out there.
You've got this, Glenn.
Am I going to feel this? I felt that.
Is he okay?
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Oh, he's moving.
Old Trapper Beefs. Last bag.
You know there's plenty for both of you.
Old Trapper, what's your beef? The official beef jerky of the Big Ten.
It's usually just one person trying on shoes.
Discover doubles your cash back at the end of your first year, so I'm going to use mine to get something from my beautiful stunt double, Eileen.
You earn, we match.
Wow.
Discover Cashback Match.
We'll take them.
Great.
Valvoline Restore and Protect. A first-of-its-kind innovation that returns pistons to factory clean by removing up to 100% of deposits. Restore your engine to perform like new. Restore and Protect. Another first from Valvoline.
Is that Danny DeVito? Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's, where the subs matter most. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
It's Alumni Day here for Minnesota in the break. Andre Hollins, one of the great guards here in Minnesota history, being honored and got a good ovation for Andre.
As he should. I mean, he was a tremendous player here, represented the program in fine fashion. I think his best move was getting engaged to Rachel Banham.
Right here, actually, at the barn.
Yes,
Maybe his best play that he made.
I think so.
Here at the barn.
I can tell you that.
Rachel Banham's in the house somewhere. She was texting to say hello.
Okay.
She says hello to you.
WNBA great.
That's right.
Yeah.
She had some great moments on this floor, too.
Oh, she sure did.
DeLeon completes the three-point play coming out of that timeout. And so now all of a sudden, we're locked at 26.
Minnesota is lucky. They're one of their last 11. So they turned the ball over a few times, Lisa. They've not gotten clean looks at the bucket.
And they've had some major droughts. The latest right now, a drought of about 6 minutes. Penn State stops them on that possession and a chance here to take the lead. Hicks walked with it, though, shuffled his feet. You could tell he got a little bit too excited on the up fake.
Yep, and you saw Ace Baldwin Jr. trying to push the rock up the floor. Doesn't have that fifth gear. But, ooh, that looked NBA-ish. Kind of look familiar to you, huh?
Yeah, I've seen A.J. Green do that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard do that a couple of times.
LeBron about 10 times.
Who?
Oh, we're doing that now.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, good to have you back in Big Ten country,
Good
Lisa.
to be back. Good to be back. A couple of ties here in this game, though. Minnesota has led the entire way. Penn State did have an opportunity to take the lead on that possession. Now with an opportunity to take the lead here with 2 minutes and some change in the first half.
Penn State has been so good defensively that now Minnesota is just trying to get the ball to Garcia and let him go to work.
Conan Niederhauser can't convert, and Garcia clears.
Minnesota's kind of abandoned their offense. Just not able to get anything going. Trying to get Garcia in a space where he can be effective. Kai Patterson needs to look for his shot as well. He's been a little bit too passive here.
4 seconds on the shot clock. The Barn trying to help out the Gophers here. An air ball is how that possession ends. Well, coming up at the halftime show presented by State Farm, Mike Hall and Jordan Taylor in the house in Chicago. About the first half. You know, this is a first half, Stephen Bardo, that is similar to the first meeting on February 4th between these two teams. It was combined 46 points in that first half. It's what, 52 combined points here in this first half.
So defense is having their way here to start.
Defense rules. You know, Ace Baldwin Jr., another opportunity missed for Penn State to take their first lead. Mitchell Jr. catch and shoot all the way down and pops out, and a loose ball foul on the rebound.
Oh, Niederhauser's not going to like, oh, he called this on Frank Mitchell. Okay.
And an offensive foul on Frank Mitchell. That's going to be his second personal.
And when guys just put their head down and walk to the end of the floor, that's a good call. Jeffrey Anderson was all over that.
You mean with no protest or anything?
Yeah, no protest, nothing. Frank Mitchell, a big, strong post, just took Niederhauser and threw him aside.
Well, it's insult to injury. Not only the foul in the second personal to Mitchell, but it results in free throws here for Conan Niederhauser back the other way. And Penn State now has its first lead of the game after trailing the entire first half.
Take a look underneath the bucket. Niederhauser has good position rebounding. Mitchell just kind of throws him to the side. Now watch Penn State get into some pressure here. We haven't seen it a lot in the first half. They love the pressure after made free throws. Watch Freddie Dilion come on and run and jump.
Well, Penn State, look at that, on a 13-2 run in the last 7 minutes and counting. Minnesota, the last made field goal, Stephen Bardo, at the 9:01 mark. The Gophers have gone cold here and down the stretch of the first half.
Well, you notice what's happening. Ben Johnson will tell you the ball needs to swing sides 2 to 3 times. That has not happened in this drought for Minnesota. It stayed on one side of the floor.
He's talked about assists, too. 18 to 22 assists for the game, right in their sweet spot. Minnesota only 5 assists here in the first half.
Great indication. Ball is not popping.
Screen being set for Baldwin Jr. Corner look. Dilion not there. Asama clears for the final rebound. That'll do it in the first half. Penn State closes the half on a 13-2 run to take half. They ended the half on that 13-2 run. Also of note, we mentioned it briefly, but Minnesota at the start of the second half, their last field goal coming with 9:01 remaining in the first half.
Very fortunate to not be down double digits, only be down 2 points here to start the second.
Conan Niederhauser gets the first shot. Why not? Because it's working, but can't get it to drop. Williams Arena, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington with you. It's the second meeting in about 18 days between these two teams. Minnesota won the first meeting February 4th. In fact, they've won the last 3 meetings of this series. As Dawson Garcia sees that double team, gets out of it to Mitchell. Passes up the three-pointer. Patterson back to Garcia. Whips the pass. How about ball movement? Parker Fox with the finish.
Well, that's the ball movement, Lisa.
Every single Gopher touched it.
But that's what Ben Johnson wants to see. He stressed to us the ball needs to shift 2 to 3 sides, different sides of the floor before looking to attack. That's exactly what Minnesota did.
We mentioned he's going to track assists. 18 to 22 is a sweet spot. That's their 6th assist of the game. That's a much-needed three-pointer here for Penn State as Dilion drills it.
Yeah, Freddie Dilion was really good in the non-conference slate. Once conference season heated up, really struggled, I think, more so with his confidence than anything.
First year at Penn State, a huge jump from Tennessee last year to this year in terms of his numbers. In terms of minutes played and scoring, healthy, getting some opportunities here this year. Odukale, they're going to give him that shot. You know what? He'll step up and make that shot.
Yeah, that was a defensive breakdown that time by Penn State. I think DeMarco Dunn was supposed to switch, and he didn't. And Odukale on the finish there.
That was his first field goal attempt, and he absolutely drilled it. Had a couple of free throws before that attempt. Conan Niederhauser, and off officials think they're going to call a traveling violation.
Boy, Mike Rhodes is beside himself, calling for a flop. Watch Parker Fox set him up. And
yeah,
wow.
They didn't call a foul. They didn't call an offensive foul. They called a traveling violation on that.
Yeah, that's a little unusual there. Niederhauser's rubbing his lower leg. Hopefully he's okay. But let's see if Minnesota can go back to shifting sides of the floor to move the defense before they look to attack.
Odukale in trouble. Handoff here to Patterson. Had some big plays in Los Angeles, some clutch plays. We could have another clutch game here in Minnesota today. Odukale forced to take it once again. He's got the last 5 points.
Yeah, Odukale pressed into being an offensive threat. Good job there. Late shot clock to rest.
Tony Niederhauser. How many touches has he gotten in every single possession here to start the second half?
But it's a great strategy by Penn State because the Gophers haven't been able to contain him once he's been down low. I mean, he missed that jump hook to start the second half, but he's been pretty good outside of that.
Coming off a 19-point performance. His numbers here today. Mitchell with the chase down on the loose ball. Gives it out to Garcia, that lefty shot.
And that's the type of shot that might get him going, Lisa. You know, those scores, they need to see one go down.
Conan Niederhauser trying to stop that. He had 3 Gopher defenders around him.
I don't know what the fans were upset about. That was great footwork in the post to avoid the double team.
First time he's been averaging double figures in his career. Another double figure scoring game with 14 points, shooting 60% from the field. And Conan Niederhauser has gotten a touch, I think, on like almost every offensive possession to begin the second half.
Yannick Conan Niederhauser, watch his footwork. He keeps his pivot foot down, steps through. That's a really nice move. Look at his right foot. He doesn't move that pivot foot. It's good fundamentals.
Mitchell. First miss. They started the second half 4 for 4 before that miss. Remember, they ended the first half 1 for 13, Minnesota did. To relinquish that lead for the first time in the final minute of play of the first half.
Penn State trying to run a screen to screener. Minnesota scouted that well.
Conan Niederhauser again with the touch. They're allowing him to get that deep post touch. And Odukale has committed his 3rd personal. We will take a quick timeout. Odukale's got some questions.
Nice car. Still for sale?
Actually...
Perfect. How about I pay you half now, half later?
Well, the thing
I'll
is
whip
that...
the trailer around, blow this baby up.
There you go, Jake.
Thank you.
Did you just sell your car to Carvana?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, that puts this location into context.
I tried to tell you.
Sell your car to Carvana today. Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family.
That's a tough one to recover from, Steve. The disappointment on their faces says it all.
Yeah, checking first is smart. Yeah. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
What a roller coaster ride it's been just really in the month of January to now. January 13th, Minnesota lost to Maryland, and that set up an 0-6 start in the Big Ten. Then January 16th, the big Dawson Garcia buzzer beater from about 40 feet against Michigan in overtime. Then the Oregon win here at home. That was part of a 3-game win streak. and what could be now maybe another 3-game win streak, the sweep in Los Angeles. You know, this is a Minnesota team coming into today. They are tied for 12th, and after all that, after starting 0-6 in the conference, they keep winning. They could finish maybe as high as 7th place here in the standings.
And what a stretch in terms of coming off of some of those losses and able to find the rhythm. You know, you're talking about a Ohio State loss, double overtime here that they basically had that was in that mix. So interesting that they're starting to find their way.
That's Hicks' first 3-pointer. He's a guy that will get you about 2 to 3, averaging about kind of the 3rd most per game in Big Ten play. He's their best 3-point shooter, and that's his first. Gives Penn State the 3-point advantage coming out of that timeout. You know, but to revisit what Ben Johnson told you at shoot-around here today, this team, we never stop believing, is what he said.
Right. And I love that.
Here's Garcia, runs into a Penn State wall and a dive for the loose ball on the floor. And it's Baldwin Jr. who gets the timeout in the scrum. Boy, Conan Niederhauser came over, and all 7 feet of him, like he just swallowed up that Dawson Garcia shot attempt.
And right now, Ace Baldwin got the timeout, but Mike Rose was looking for a shot clock violation. Penn State starting to feel themselves here, Lisa.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin night and day. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. But now I have Rinvoq. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some taking Rinvoq felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days, and some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. Many saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin. Serious allergic reactions. GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events. Infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant, or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your dermatologist about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better. And this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems and doesn't replace a rescue inhaler. It's proven to help prevent asthma attacks. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of signs of inflamed blood vessels, like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop steroid, asthma, or other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Joshua Walker, world's best backwards basketball shooter.
6 grams of protein, loaded with fiber, and they come in over 20 tasty flavors. Blue Diamond almonds might be the world's best snack. I should know.
Can your snack do all that?
Forget the halftime entertainment. We should have had Andre Hollins and Rachel Bannum go one-on-one for the Minnesota Crew.
Yeah, because they would have scored a lot better than Minnesota did going the last 9 minutes of the first half without a field goal.
That is facts. You don't get your face and your number hanging from the rafters if you don't put up a lot of points here. Go for country.
That's right. Number 1. I'm sitting here looking at Rachel Bannum right now. One of the legends that have graced the barn during her career.
She's able to call her 60-point game against Northwestern. Tied an NCAA single-game record. Stephen Barno, Lisa Byington with you. This is a 60-point pace here for both of these teams, speaking of 60. And it favors Minnesota, but again, the Gophers trailing by 3 here to Penn State.
Isaac Asamoah getting heated up right there by Dillion.
And they turn over Minnesota. Here's Carter on the push. Baldwin Jr. has been quiet. Conan Niederhauser has been doing a lot of the offensive work. He's got 16 points on the afternoon.
Yannick does a great job with his footwork. It's rare you see 7-footers moving full speed that can balance like that and evade their defender.
Where Minnesota is still in the single digits in assists, Penn State has shared the basketball. 14 of their 15 field goals have been assisted.
Doing a great job of that ball popping.
Carter. Conan Niederhauser draws the foul against Parker Fox. His third. So 3 on Odukale, 3 on Fox. And that man drawing a lot of fouls here this afternoon.
Well, Yannick Conan Niederhauser understands that there's a young man that played here long ago named Kevin McHale, who had some of the best footwork in basketball, period. And Niederhauser trying to be like McHale in the post.
I'm looking at his poster and his face and his number hanging from the rafters.
I think he's one of the most underrated post players in basketball history, regardless of the level. Kevin McHale was a problem.
Well, I mean, prior to, right, the social media world, when everything is documented and instantaneously, right? Where people, even if you're not watching the game, you see it come up on your feed. And I hate to say it, but I think a lot of people, when they're evaluating the game of basketball, whatever level you're talking about, forgets about the pre-social media players sometimes.
I agree with you, Lisa. There's always a recency bias, and it's to be understood. But it doesn't take away anything from those players that are, like you're saying, that are pre-internet.
Frank Mitchell, footwork, and coming over from the blind side, Conan Niederhauser with another block. There is a reason why he's the best shot blocker in the conference.
Great timing, excellent length, and avoids the foul. Like, he doesn't have to come down so hard. He's not emphatic with the block. It just gets it done. Good job by Asamoah on the offensive rebound. That's a young man I'd like to see get going. Had 12 points at USC, and I believe had 1 point against UCLA, but he's got a bright upside, good body, lively athlete. And right now, not necessarily finding his offense, but trying to be sure-handed against this opportunistic defense.
He had 15 points against USC, though.
Yep.
You can see the potential in games like that. Definitely playing starter minutes at about 25 minutes per game. A lot of faith and confidence that this coaching staff has in him. Patterson tries a three-pointer. Frank Mitchell just battling for it. You can see the hustle. He's providing a boost a little bit here for Minnesota.
Frank Mitchell does a good job because he knows who he is, Lisa. He's not trying to get outside of himself. He's going to get on the glass. He's going to make things difficult for the opposing team. 4 points and 4 rebounds in their last outing against UCLA.
Well, Frank Mitchell averages about 14 minutes per game, but could be getting some more time here tonight. Conan Niederhauser, part of the defensive assignments for him and Parker Fox, and especially with Fox and Odukale in foul trouble. Dawson Garcia loses it off the dribble drive and back to Penn State.
Well, I'm watching Lakai Patterson right now, and he is really passive. He's coming off the ball screen action, not going anywhere. He's not making the defense, forcing him to make a decision. He's got to get activated for Minnesota to have some success.
And that surprises me because he was so confident in the clutch against USC and UCLA. Drew a key offensive foul call, hit a shot, that made the difference here for Minnesota.
That's right. Got all the way downhill. Something we haven't even seen him try this afternoon.
Here's Dunn with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Dunn, that's a power move off the glass for 2.
Well, that is an example right there of the difference in DeMarco Dunn in February as in December. He could not make that play in December, but right now feeling good about himself.
You look at Penn State, that field goal percentage is rising with their 15 assists. They're sharing the basketball, and Dunn is starting to make plays.
Well, DeMarco Dunn, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can see how tough this angle is off the glass. He did that over 2 defenders. DeMarco Dunn is really in his bag right now.
Incredible body control on that play. Well, Dunn just committed his 3rd personal. Largest lead of the game here for Penn State. Anderson over to Mitchell for 3. The Gophers just can't find it.
Monster rebound by Ace Baldwin Jr., beating Dawson Garcia to that rock.
Minnesota 1 for 5 this half from 3-point territory. They were shooting 29% from 3 for the game as Baldwin Jr. draws the foul. And another one against Dunn. That's another one against Mike Mitchell, excuse me. That's his 2nd.
Well, we would see Ace Baldwin explode like that more often, but he's trying to play through a sore back. And anybody that has had a sore back, you know that if you blow your nose the wrong way, you feel it. So this young man has shown a tremendous amount of toughness playing through this sore back.
Yeah, injured his back around, what, December 30th.
Yes.
And he's been battling all of January, all of February, if they can get to the Big Ten tournament. The conference tournament here in March. Here's Baldwin Jr. distributing and finding Kern Jr. in traffic. Well, the largest lead of the game now. Penn State charging here in the second half. We will take a timeout.
My new car. Please bring me good juju.
You need good juju? Juju Watkins. Check this out.
Wow, that is good, but I just wanted to make sure my car has coverage.
Oh, you don't need me. You need, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A State Farm agent can help you choose the right coverage at a price that's right for you.
So who's up for some one-on-one?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Something amazing is happening here. Data is bringing creativity to life. That's because CDW showed animation studios new ways to maximize their infrastructure, then built a flexible Dell Technologies data solution. More automation led to greater efficiency, which means creativity stays the star of the show. Make amazing happen. Dell Technologies and CDW.
Old Trapper beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor. What about the clear bag? That shows you exactly what you're getting. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper, what's your beef? The official beef jerky of the Big Ten.
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
Ah, yes. Unleaded 88 can save you big at the pump.
And it helps cut emissions, if it's safe for your car.
As long as it's a 2001 or newer, you're good to go.
Speaking of good, it's made with corn, which is good for local farmers.
I mean,
farmers care more about...
Can somebody hand me that socket?
Wait.
Oh, found it.
Does anyone have a reason not to choose Unleaded 88? Thank you.
Whatever your reason, choose Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind.
Where are you headed?
Where am I headed? Am I just gonna take what the market gives me? No, I can do some research.
You know, that's backed by JP Morgan's leading strategists, like us.
When you want to invest with more confidence, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Gary, used car shopping can't hurt you.
But what if I overpay?
Come out and I'll show you a better way.
Well, show me, Carfox.
Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay. No fear, just Fox. Say show me at Carfax.com.
March is on. The 2025 TIAA Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament returns to Indianapolis. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse will host the annual celebration of Big Ten Hoops, March 12th through the 16th. Tickets are on sale now, so head to big10.org/MVBT to secure your seats today. Give your team a home court advantage as they battle for a tournament title. Don't miss the 2025 TIAA Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament in Indianapolis.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, Simple Human Sense, and by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. A tight one here between Penn State, Minnesota. You got some things to say here, Stephen Bardo?
Yeah, tomorrow's a can't miss wrestling doubleheader. First, 5th-ranked Nebraska locks up with Purdue. Then Iowa battles Oklahoma State. The top 5 duo coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Shane Sparks gets me hyped on wrestling. I'm going to be tuning in for Oklahoma State, Iowa.
What's up, Shane? Stephen Bardo said, if there is a wrestling promo to read,
I'm telling you,
I am first in line to read it.
And I'm first in line to give Shane some love, because if you can't get excited about watching wrestling when he's on the call,
then there's something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you, no doubt about it.
It's like if you could find something wrong with Sean Morris, then there's something wrong with you.
We can talk about his flip phone.
Well, that's true.
But outside his flip phone, right. You spot on with that.
A 10-point advantage here for Penn State. I'm fascinated by the fact that, Penn State is playing to this Minnesota pace and still leading by double digits.
I mean, they seem very comfortable at it, don't they, Lisa? In terms of, they're attacking.
I don't know if that man was comfortable with it.
Right.
Their head coach, but.
Oh, but he's got to be pleased. I mean, they haven't forced a ton of turnovers. They haven't had an opportunity to pressure a lot, but it hasn't mattered. They've been so good in the half-court defense here this afternoon.
They forced only 7 Minnesota turnovers. They average about 14 to 15 that they generate against opponents, and then they generate a whole heck of a lot of points off turnovers. 17 average, top 20 in the country. Garcia in trouble. He's seen numbers all afternoon and a double dribble call.
Yep. That delayed double team on Dawson Garcia has caused a lot of problems for the Gophers. Not only for Dawson, but his teammates aren't finding the openings here. Great defense led by Ace Baldwin.
So what's he need to do? Get rid of it quicker?
Or make his move faster. He's catching, he's waiting for the double team instead of catching and going over the top of Baldwin.
Baldwin Jr. surveying his options. Going to Niederhauser setting that screen. They work it around to Kern Jr. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Kern Jr. dribbles his way into the paint, leaves it short, and a battle for the loose ball goes to Minnesota.
That was the right decision, but Nick Kern should have went with his left hand on the original move. He tried to come back to his right hand and blew the bunny.
Odukale back in the game, playing with 3 personal fouls, drops it off to Mitchell. It'll stay here for Minnesota with 15 seconds on the shot clock.
So I think that the approach by Penn State to be the hunter and the spoiler has allowed them to come out here, especially here in the second half, and establish themselves on the defensive end.
You see the block shot story. A lot of those, a hefty dose of those from Conan Niederhauser, the best shot blocker in the conference. And a foul to Carter, his first. Penn State has made it tough defensively, whether it's at the rim because of that guy or just I feel like making Minnesota think about it when they bring it up. With point of attack pressure.
Yes. Point of attack pressure, double teaming Dawson Garcia. So now, offensively, where do you go if you're Minnesota? I want to see Patterson get activated.
Well, there you go. And the tip in, Mitchell gets the bucket, but it's Patterson who maybe generated that offense.
And he's going to have to force the issue, Lisa, because they're trying to take Dawson Garcia out of the mix.
And a turnover force. Minnesota on the push. Out to Garcia. The spin move and coming over the block that time from Zach Hicks. And Baldwin Jr. on the push. Can't get the lay-in, but draws the foul.
Garcia goes 1-on-2 here. Well, really 1-on-3. Good timing on the block by Hicks to save it. And then going the other way.
If he lays that up with his left hand, maybe that doesn't get blocked.
Or if he waits for his teammates to come and join him, they might get a higher percentage look. But I think they're pressing right now just based on what Penn State's doing defensively.
Maybe that's just an example, too. When you talk about pressing, you just talked about Dawson Garcia deciding to make a move quicker.
Yes.
Right? Because of that delayed double team, and maybe that was an example of that. They're making him kind of guess about where this Penn State defense is going to show up.
That's a good call, Lisa. And Minnesota's got to figure this out in a hurry because this game can get away from them. They can't make some plays here.
It's already the largest lead of the game, plus 11 here for Penn State. Neither team has missed a free throw here today. Patterson gets his pocket picked and a loose ball as Baldwin Jr. comes up with it, but walks with it.
But Minnesota got a break because Penn State had numbers. Ace Baldwin complaining that he got grabbed at Tim Comer. But can Minnesota take advantage of it, though? They're getting some breaks here, but they've yet to capitalize. They've got to get this home crowd back in this game.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet here at the barn here right now. The home team trailing by double digits. Look at the quick hands. Penn State is always looking to force something. Off of deflections, there's another one. And what it does, it eases time off of the shot clock here for Patterson, trying to spin away from trouble. Can't do it. Inside the paint, a tough shot, can't get it.
Well, Patterson's starting to get down on himself. A little pessimistic about his opportunities right now. He's got to shake that off and keep balling.
We're past the midway point of the second half. And numbers coming. Baldwin Jr. steps behind the three-point line, air ball. And Minnesota won for its last 12 coming into this possession.
Minnesota's got to move the basketball. They're catching and it's sticking in the hands. Move the basketball and move the defense.
5 of 16 this half, make it 5 of 17 this half for Minnesota.
Because they're not getting good looks. They're not trusting their teammates right now.
Baldwin Jr. My goodness, the alley-oop to the rafters for Kern Jr.
Oh my goodness. Nick Kern, I knew he had hops. I didn't know he could get up like that. Oh man. And I mean, you can tell how confident Penn State is right now. They're not jumping up and down because Nick Kern gets behind the defense, Lisa. There must be a trampoline on that baseline because Nick Kern doing chin-ups on the rim.
500,000 square miles of the U.S. are unreachable by any cell phone tower. Places where memories were left unshared. Until now. T-Mobile partnered with Starlink to create the only space-based network that automatically connects to the phone you already have. And we're inviting anyone on any wireless carrier to experience it for free. T-Mobile Starlink. If you can see the sky, you're connected.
I don't have any updates.
Still haven't closed.
Larry, are we still on for 3?
I'm on the phone.
When you and your team need space to work.
I didn't get that attachment.
I'm sending it. And a place to eat. Carl, is that mackerel?
No, it's trout. Has anyone seen my mayonnaise? Oh, found it. False alarm.
It matters where you stay.
Fish tacos?
Carl.
Oh, yeah.
Hilton for the stay.
So we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the ease specialist.
Right. Geico makes car insurance easy. With the Geico app, you can check your policy on the go and get access to 24/7 claim support.
Yeah! Let's make this easy!
You know, that felt a lot closer.
For car insurance made easy, get more with Geico.
A trailblazer is someone who perseveres to become that which seemed unobtainable at one point. At the age of 9, I chose to become an aerospace engineer, not really understanding what it was. Everything you don't know is hard. But once you roll up your sleeves and you dig in and you start learning, suddenly it becomes easy. So having the confidence to push forward and just climb that mountain and conquer it. Even once I graduated from the University of Maryland, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence. Over time, being successful at things and learning things and developing the confidence to say, hey, I don't know that yet, but I'll find out and I'll learn it. Here at NASA, we become role models for everyone, not just for young African-American boys and girls, but for all boys and girls. And being a role model is a responsibility that we have to take on and take seriously. I'm Jeanette Epps, NASA astronaut and University of Maryland graduate.
Bush on the inbounds, the baseball feed. It's caught. Up on the field. Oh! He got it! Yes, it counts! Minnesota!
One of the best Big Ten tournament moments, let alone one of the best Minnesota Conference tournament moments. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington with you. March 13th and 14th on the Big Ten Network. You got the 2025 version and maybe some buzzer beaters to come. She would love to see something like that happen, huh?
Yeah, she would.
The bottom 8, we're looking at the standings. This is why this game is so important between Penn State and Minnesota. Penn State right now, but with Washington and Northwestern, 3 of the teams on the outside looking in, trying to make the Big Ten tournament. 15 of the 18 teams make the tournament. And Minnesota coming in a tie for 12th coming into today. Asama, good, small, strong take. That's what you see in the freshman.
Yeah, and Isaac did a good job of reading the defense. They were shifting and he was straight line drive to the rim. Good call out of the timeout by Minnesota.
Carter, Odukale, that's number 4. That's a dangerous foul to make for Femi Odukale from behind, and especially when it's your 4th personal.
Especially when you're 2 years from your AARP card. Because Odukale is old. He knows better. You don't make that foul in that scenario.
You got your AARP?
You know I do, Lisa. I rock it
You
proud.
say that with pride.
I do say it with pride because you get these discounts. Shoot. If it's free or if it's discount, that's my middle name. That's right.
If it's free, it's for me.
That's right.
Rattles it around. That's Javin Carter from the corner. His first points, a 3-pointer.
Javin Carter and Dominic Stewart are starting to get increased minutes for Penn State. These freshmen are starting to come into their own, giving Penn State some much-needed depth.
Dillion maybe, coming over and trying to force the turnover, but a foul committed there on Dillion, his 2nd.
Boy, that pressure, that's that textbook Penn State pressure. You put the ball on the deck, they run another player at you, tie you up on the bounce. Oh, what a screen. Boy, DeMarco Dunn showing some toughness.
Oh, a 5-second violation for Minnesota. You don't see that very often.
You don't, and that's an indication of that defensive intensity by the Nittany Lions. I mean, they have really turned it up here in the second half.
It's interesting, both these teams play with different styles. We've covered that, but both these head coaches and the fan bases, I think, go crazy in a year like this because you can see the potential, right, of what these teams can do. Some really good wins, right? Penn State against Purdue. We've documented Minnesota, what they've done against Michigan and Oregon. And then sometimes you lay an egg like you do in some games like this in a much-needed win, but Minnesota on the charge. Patterson with an and one.
No, that might get Lakai Patterson going. He needed to see a layup or something drop. And good job of shooting the gap, getting his hand on the basketball, sizing up Dillion, getting to the rim with the concentration. And I think Patterson might be dealing with a little something. It's like he's trying to shake something off there before he gets to that free throw. But Lisa, as you know, when he touches that orange pill, it's got some medicine in it. He'll feel a lot better when he gets that ball in his hand.
Guy Patterson, a Minneapolis native, coming back after stints in Missouri State and Charlotte. Both of these teams have shown the capability of knocking off some of the best teams in the Big Ten, but also getting beat consistently and having long losing streaks here in conference play.
Especially Penn State. In terms of close games, 1-7, and games decided by 6 points or less.
See if it's another close game. Mitchell, the Gophers are coming. That's a long 2 to get here for Mitchell, and it's forced a timeout here for Penn State.
That's a savvy timeout by Mike Rose, because this barn was getting ready to get rocking, and right before they can get really into it, look at the cross-court pass. Asamoah with the nice steal in the advance. Looking ahead, Mike Mitchell Jr. caught. Nice job by Minnesota working their way back into this one and giving their fans something to get excited about.
They need it. Just the second 3-point make of the second half. Minnesota, a team that shoots about, 33% for the season, below that at 30% here for the game. But somehow trying to claw and grind its way back into this one. Minnesota, though, comeback fashion, let's not forget, just the last 2 games, USC and UCLA, Minnesota trailed by double figures, 17 to UCLA, 14 to USC, and the most wins when trailing by double figures. Minnesota is right up there in the Big Ten in first place, tied with Michigan State and Oregon. 5 times they've done it.
Yeah, so it's a dangerous team, and you cannot relax. There's plenty of time left. Dang, Isaac Asamoah must have got tied up with Ace Baldwin. He's laboring big time. They have to get him out of the game. He can't move. Oh, that's a pretty move.
Oh, he gets his own miss and pushes it back. Conan Niederhauser is putting together a really good second half. He's got 18 points in the game.
Oh, Niederhauser.
With that bucket, make it 20.
Just staying with it. Utilizing his size advantage, his length. Nice initial move and then follow up.
For a guy for the first time in his career averaging double figures, he averages about 12. He's at 20 here this afternoon. Asima driving. He's got a couple of those here in the second half.
Yeah, Isaac doing a good job catching and going. Not waiting to see what the defense is going to do. And he's gutting it out. He's still in a little bit of pain, but he's going to gut through it.
Giving a little juice here to the building. Inside 6 minutes left to play between these two teams. Meeting for the 61st time. Minnesota has won the last 3. Baldwin Jr., it's like an effort to get that shot off.
Yeah, they got to the free throw line. You're not going to get a better look than that. Good decision by Ace.
11-point advantage. Largest lead has been 14. After going 1 for 14 for Minnesota, they found the bucket there. 4 for 4 going into this possession. Odukale, a facial to remember.
Ooh. Femi Odukale gets the kick out. Jab step, baseline. Get some, big fella. Ooh, that's a bit of beer face material right there. Femi Odukale. Get this crowd off on their feet.
And converts on the three-point play. Look, he's a guy that only averages about 6.5, but he has had some key buckets here in the second half for Minnesota.
He really has, and he's got to stay in the game. You talk about those 4 fouls, and he's got to be very careful with. And Minnesota needs guys that can make plays like that.
Hasn't missed a shot. He's at 10 points here today. Baldwin Jr. in and out dribble. Back to Dunn. Dillion. Conan Niederhauser. And a foul against Dawson Garcia. His first.
Dawson didn't like the call. That's a clean. That's as easy a call you're gonna make all afternoon. Right there. Trying to give him a nudge, trying to keep him from where he wants to go. Not in good position that time by Garcia. Lisa, when I look at this young man, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, his free throws look flawless. His footwork is good. It's above average in my opinion. And he's leading the conference in block shots, but yet he never averaged double figures before this season. So it's amazing what a new location and program can do for your game.
Yeah, transfer played the last 2 seasons at Northern Illinois. Out of Switzerland. Here's Dawson Garcia short. Odukale's got some hops, tries to keep it alive for Minnesota, but it's Penn State coming down with it, and a reaching foul against Asima, his first.
Let's take a look at this. Going after the basketball, Kai Patterson laying out, trying to get it. That's a pretty good foul. Isaac Asima. See if this can get Freddie's confidence up. Just not, Lisa, just, you can tell when those players have lost confidence in themselves.
Good body language.
Yep. I don't know how he can get it back. But his coach is leaving him on the floor, got a lot of confidence in him.
Odukale initiating the offense. There's a foul on Conan Niederhauser. The shot blocker that tried to block the pass.
I'm laughing at Mike Rose because he's throwing a fit at Conan Niederhauser. And now Ace Baldwin getting on his case. Big fella's like, man, I thought I was doing all right today.
2 personal fouls here in the game. Odukale back to the free throw line. It's the first on the front end.
This might be the approach that Minnesota's going to have to take. Lock down defensively, try to get to the free throw line, convert, get back into your pressure.
Talking about one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the Big Ten. Odukale splits the pair. Baldwin Jr., 6 points on the day for Baldwin Jr., the leading scorer here for Penn State.
Watch DeMarco Dunn on this. He's weak side. There might be a kick out for him on shooting.
Dillion can't get it, puts it back. It won't count. They're waving it off. But some free throws coming here for Dillion. And we will take a timeout. It's the inside 4-minute timeout. An 8-point advantage here for Penn State. Boy, we have seen some highlights tonight. These two have connected, the old VCU teammates. But the highlight of the day, my goodness, from Minneapolis, enjoy.
If you could pick the perfect topping for a freshly prepped Jersey Mike's Sub Bowl, what would it be? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Tender, juicy, all-white meat chicken breast. Jinx. I knew you were going to say that. The new roasted chicken Sub Bowl. Only at Jersey Mike's.
Hey, babe. You got Circle, right? Yeah, of course. I'm not drinking enough water, but... You got Circle. Huh? Order Circle water bottle.
Circling several water bottles.
No.
Circle helps you drink more water.
Yeah, I know. The one with 100,000 flavors. Blue shirt. You got Circle.
100,000 orders confirmed.
Hey, honey.
You got Circle! America, Circle just delivered Adam's orders. One could be yours. Seriously, check your front door.
Did I send one to you?
Hey, my treat today. I don't think they'll take that here.
Of course they take Discover.
You're stuck in the past.
Unlike me.
You look rad.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
At Harbor Freight, we do business differently from the other guys. We design and test our own tools and sell them directly to you. No middleman, just quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check first that you bought seats in the right section. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
We'll see.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's, where the subs matter most. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Mike and Jordan perfectly spaced here. All right, how's Minnesota get back in this thing?
Keep doing what they've done the past couple possessions. Attack the rim on offense, be engaged defensively, make sure that low man's there. It's been the freshman, Isaac Osama, spurring this run for the Golden Gophers.
A little bit of a spark here. See if the Gophers can close it out at home. By the way, we got a busy day here on the air. You can see the #1 hockey team in the country, Michigan State, take down Penn State. First of a doubleheader. That's coming up, but for now, back to Lisa and Steven.
You know, Mike Hall, if you ever need any hockey promos, you could have jumped in there, Stephen Bardo. Talk about the hockey coverage coming up later.
Well, yeah, I did already. I did, right?
Yeah, you did, but
you didn't like it?
No, I did, but Mike Hall was teasing again. We should have given you that opportunity. 58-49 is your score. Minnesota is minus a point after Mitchell's basket. You see the foot on the line, a 3-2.
Yeah, so it's a tough break for Minnesota trying to cut to this deficit, but good job by the officials coming together and getting it right. It looks close. Maybe if he had an 11.5 instead of 12.5, it might be a 3. I'm just guessing.
Or even a 12.
Yeah, 12.
12.5 to a 12.
Yeah, that's true, because it was close.
You know, every point is at a premium here right now between these two teams. The last 5 meetings have been decided by single digits. 10 of the last 12 decided by 9 points or fewer. It's always close in the most recent past between Penn State and Minnesota. So every point, especially in this series, matters. Dillion makes the second free throw.
That should really help his confidence out defensively. Once again, Penn State into that full court pressure and eat up some of that valuable time.
Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington with you. About 3.5 left to play. Odukale has got 11 in the second half. 13 for the game.
Beautiful dish by Dawson. He draws so much contact. Oh, I like this double team.
Penn State gets out of it. DeLeon can't hit the three-pointer. Ball's loose, though. And we got a foul call. And head back the other way. Foul on Penn State.
Mike Rhodes is pointing to his temples with both his fingers, asking his players to think. He did not like that three-point shot by DeLeon. Penn State's quick shot played right into the hands of the Gophers.
It's Kern's second personal. See Minnesota in the bonus, Penn State in the double bonus. Patterson makes good on the first. Tomorrow, women's hoops doubleheader tips off with 8th-ranked Ohio State against Purdue. Then Indiana faces number 22, Michigan State. Coverage begins at noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Here's your bar and bounce for Patterson on the free throw.
I like this, trying to get the ball out of Baldwin's hands.
Conan Niederhauser gets wrapped up, some numbers flocking towards him, and the ball, it's a jump ball opportunity, perhaps. It will be, and it'll be headed back the other way. Minnesota basketball.
I love the scrambling nature of what the Gophers are doing. They're getting the ball out of Ace Baldwin's hands, and then turning back. The defensive flow was really impressive that time. Because Penn State, once Baldwin gives it up, they had numbers, but they're playing a little bit faster maybe than even they're comfortable with. Nice job by Minnesota.
Odukale, the big second half, 11 points, 13 rebounds, trying to spin off of Dunn. Odukale still has it, pump fake, goes for it. Draws the foul against Dunn. A shooting foul, some more free throws coming from Minnesota.
Yeah, so Minnesota doing a good job now. Odukale understanding he's not going to get double teamed on the post. He's got some size over Dunn. Nice patience.
DeMarco Dunn now with 4 personal fouls for Penn State.
Odukale doing a good job at the free throw line.
He's the 46% free throw shooter.
These guys whose eligibility is about to run out, they get a sense of urgency coming down the stretch. Start to pay a little bit more attention and concentrate on those free throws.
Not bad when you're 6 of 7. Look out, the barn is alive.
Can Niederhauser get a quality look in this possession for Penn State?
Baldwin Jr. trying to look for him. Conan Niederhauser takes the pass, gives it up immediately to Dunn. 2 seconds to shoot. DeLeon's got to put it up, a tough angle. It's a shot clock violation. Minnesota's got life.
They do have life. They've done a good job of changing up their defense. And it's interesting, sometimes teams that like to press, they don't like to get pressure. Penn State has not handled this pressure well the last 3 possessions.
Patterson, Dawson Garcia, 3 on the way, left side. And the ball's loose. Patterson comes down with it.
So they got to reset, get the shot clock to 20, I think, because they never changed possessions. They should reset the shot clock here to 20.
Right now sitting at 28.
Tim Comer, Jeffrey Anderson, and Edwin Young over there conversing. They've done a good job this afternoon.
Shot clock with Patterson touching it. Resets to 30 seconds.
You see Mike Rhodes screaming at Jeffrey Anderson to check the shot clock there, and they did. They seem to be doing more talking than actually looking at the film video. Oh, I thought it was going to reset.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Garcia's shot hit the rim. That would be the only reason why it didn't.
Yeah,
reset.
I thought it
did too, but
well, you don't see Ben Johnson or the Minnesota staff saying anything about it, so it's going to be fascinating what kind of play they run out of this.
Take a look. Yeah.
Oh, no, they
just
on it.
Just missed the rim. All backboard and no rim. Shot won't count, and a foul against Dunn, and he is done. DeMarco Dunn now with 5 personal fouls.
Try to keep Asamoah off the offensive glass. So Minnesota creeping back in ever so slightly.
So Dunn will walk over and take a seat, and it looks like Nick Kern Jr. is going to be the sub to come in.
Dunn didn't have the offensive output that he would prefer today, but he did some really good things defensively, especially when they were double-teaming Dawson Garcia. He was really covering a lot of space defensively on that double and then coming out and contesting a jump shoot.
Pressure moments here for Asamoah, the freshman out of Cherry, Minnesota. 4-star recruit, won 3 state titles, a 3-sport athlete.
You say Cherry, Minnesota's up there now. That's up north Minnesota.
North. Cold Minnesota.
That's right.
Driving, it's Baldwin Jr. forcing the issue and forcing the foul call. And that's a senior. That is a veteran guy, right? When you hear the atmosphere changing here at the barn and it's getting tight and some people getting the nerves rising, it's going to be that guy that's going to take charge.
I thought the exact same thing. Great decision by the veteran Baldwin, one of our better guards in this conference, understanding that he needs to make a play.
Make a play and make a free throw. One of the best free throw shooters in the land. 4th best in the country. The best Big Ten free throw shooter. 93%.
And you know, I always got to throw in Baltimore's finest. Because he's a proud son of Baltimore, Maryland.
There's your foul trouble for Minnesota. Patterson and Odukale both with 4 personals. It's Dunn who's already fouled out for Penn State. And Patterson trying to foul against Dillion. That'll be his 4th.
Well, both teams now starting to understand. You're going to get to the free throw line, so they're going to put it on the deck and force you to defend.
Boy, Minnesota, for a team that has not been a good free throw shooting team all season, 66% from the foul line. Their last 6 points have come from the free throw line. And they're 14 of 16 here today. Coming up, the Big Ten Live basketball postgame delivers highlights, expert analysis, press conferences. It's coming up after the game on the Big Ten Network.
Ben Johnson said his team never lost belief in themselves. Now, as they have closed to put themselves in position here to compete, let's see if they can come all the way back.
Penn State protecting this 4-point advantage. Baldwin Jr. not in any rush.
Boy, Penn State taking a lot of time in this possession.
Baldwin Jr., 3 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Hicks. Short. And Dawson Garcia with the rebound and the foul on the rebound. And that's a 1-and-1 opportunity with 5 personal fouls.
Yeah, Odukale was trying to box out Nick Kern Jr. and kind of got, when Nick got up in the air, it looked like he kind of pushed back a little bit. And I mean, it was right in front of the official. Right there.
And he was sandwiched. You know, it's interesting because you could make the argument Garcia was fouled on the rebound. That's what I initially thought was the call, but instead they get, that's huge. Odukale fouled out for the second time when he's played Penn State.
So here's what you're talking about, Lisa, right there.
But so Kern Jr. is sideways because Odukale hits him. Odukale hits Kern, and Kern hits Garcia.
Yeah. So, no, it's a tough break for Femi, who has been doing a really good job here in the second half.
Odukale fouled out with his 13 second-half points, and so the double bonus here for Kern Jr.
Man, these guys are something. These veterans in this conference, Lisa, I don't care what your free throw shooting percentage is down the stretch, especially in February. These guys step up when they have to. Nick Kern Jr., I'm not surprised if he knocks both of these down.
The 2 VCU guys following Mike Rose from VCU. Some clutch free throws here down the stretch for Penn State. Mitchell gives it off to Patterson. Patterson, wow, a tough 2 to get.
Yeah, it was. And good job on the Mike Mitchell finding him.
And Minnesota again forced to foul against guess who, Baldwin Jr. That's exactly who Penn State wants at the free throw line.
Yeah, but you've heard me. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? So if Baldwin throws out a double team to Zach Hicks, the clock is still going, right? But Baldwin doesn't like giving it up because he's one of the best free throw shooters in the country. So he feels he's sure-handed. But in my opinion, when we were playing, you want that time to elapse as quickly as possible.
Patterson now has fouled out. He'll sit next to Odukale. It's Rigsby who's checked in here from Minnesota. Double bonus now for both of these teams. 1 timeout for Penn State, a couple timeouts for Minnesota.
Ace Baldwin stepping up when he needs to the most.
Most people feel pressure. Ace Baldwin Jr. just feels comfortable in a situation like that.
No doubt about it.
Gives Penn State the 6-point advantage. What a win this could be for the Nittany Lions. Their head coach talking about playing spoiler here for this team, and Dillion has now fouled out.
Freddie Dillion, boy, he's made some tough decisions here down the stretch. You see the double team. So Dillion is like, he's saying, I didn't foul, but Lisa, you can't jump at that. You just gotta let him go.
It's Parker Fox to the free throw line for the first time today.
So you see Mike Rose calling something out, one of their plays against pressure. I don't know what BFO means, but that's certainly one of their calls. This barn crowd gets extremely quiet when they go for shoot the free throws.
This makes you more nervous, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. If the home crowd knew it, they'd make some noise. Look at Niederhauser. Niederhauser is really hurting right now. So he got a hip stinger. He is in a lot of pain.
The call on the floor is Minnesota's basketball.
Knock somebody out. maybe took an elbow or kind of got pushed a certain way, but he is in a lot of pain.
So we've got an official review here on this play that we'll take another look at it. Off of the missed free throw, you see Conan Niederhauser right there battling against Garcia. And this is the official review, though. That's where Conan Niederhauser, I think, took that hip injury. But they're reviewing the out of bounds here between these two teams.
Well, if you're Minnesota, regardless of what happens, you gotta foul quickly to try to extend the game. That's off Nick Kern, isn't it? Like you see Mitchell's hand right there, but that's Kern's hand. I think Kern hits that last.
That's tough.
Yeah, it should be Minnesota basketball. Yep, I would think.
Jeffrey Anderson, Tim Comer, Edwin Young with an important decision here with 24 seconds left to play.
It's going to be hard to overturn this, without concrete evidence. Their original call, I think, will stand. But I have to tip my cap to the Penn State Nittany Lions. I mean, they really struggled in the first half, Lisa. And then they turned the defense up, and they've really controlled this game through the second half. Talk about a team that recently came out of a 11 losses in 12 game slide with their last victory against Nebraska.
After further review, the play is inconclusive. Minnesota's basketball.
The difference there for Penn State, they generate even better offense from the first half to the second half.
They got more people involved. Niederhauser really held them down offensively. And then second half, Ace Baldwin, Nick Kern had an opportunity. Dunn had his presence felt. So total team effort in the second half offensively.
So it's Minnesota basketball. Mitchell catch and shoot opportunity from straight away. The rebound to Kern Jr. Baldwin Jr. in trouble. Minnesota trying to pick his pocket, and it's a wrap up and a jump ball, but it'll be Penn State basketball. This is where I miss in the college game, jumping it up.
Well, you see, Baldwin doesn't really want to give this up, and that's a problem because he almost got ripped that time. He's got three Gophers around him. He's got some teammates open down the floor. And that's not a criticism necessarily of Baldwin because he's automatic from the free throw line. It's just some folks sometimes have things to catch. So let's see what happens here. Can Minnesota get a steal or a quick foul here to extend this game?
Conan Niederhauser, body bucket and one, and an exclamation point. Cherry on top for Penn State.
Yeah, that hip was hurting until that ball touched those hands. And all of a sudden, that hip felt better. Yannick Conan Niederhauser finishing off a fantastic afternoon. Good job of the big fella. He's going to stay up there for a while.
He's got the most dunks in the Big Ten, and he's had some spectacular ones here today. And Penn State, Mike Rose has talked about playing the role of spoiler and perhaps spoiling Minnesota's chances to try to get to the Big Ten. In so doing, as Conan Niederhauser comes over for another block. But in so doing, Penn State trying to climb itself up the Big Ten standings to be one of the 15 included in the conference tournament. A 69-60 final. Penn State over Minnesota.